Hey everybody, we are doing something a little bit different today. No techniques. We're going to talk about a very common problem. I had a few students just recently, and this happens quite often, right? I had a blue belt come up to me and he says, Robin, can I talk to you? Very serious. Oh, okay, sure, yeah, what's going on? And he's like, I don't feel like I'm getting any better. In fact, I feel like I'm getting worse at Jiu-Jitsu. Very sad. I mean, this is the one that actually came to me. Who knows how many people have quit at blue belt and never talked to their instructors about this, right? So he's like, I'm just not getting any better. And I don't know what's going on. I just feel like maybe this isn't for me. And so my response, of course, was, great, fantastic. And he's looking at me like, what are you talking about? This is not great. This is terrible, right? But here's why this is great. This is because I've been through this process before. Everybody who's done jiu-jitsu has been through this process, right? And at the beginning, when you start at white belt, everything's brand new and shiny and it's awesome. And most people don't really have this super high expectation of accomplishment on the mat when they're sparring somebody new. Like the first day, they're not expecting typically to win, right? Used to in the old days, but it's different now. Everybody respects jiu-jitsu. They understand that, man, there's a lot to learn. I'm here to learn. Yeah, I'm going to get caught. Things aren't going to work out for me right at the beginning. But we call this the blue belt blues. We get to the blue belt, and there comes this level of expectation, like, oh, I can't lose to the white belt, right? Or, man, I used to tap this guy out, but now he's catching me. He's progressing faster. Okay. So there's a few issues there. Number one is we start to focus too much on how our progress is according to the people that we roll with, okay? And everybody has different capabilities. Everybody comes into jiu-jitsu with different assets, right? Some people come in with a wrestling background, and a lot of times they come right out of the gate and their progress is straight up because they've grappled for a long time, right? You can't take away that natural ability that's already there. And that's just one example. So what happens is, we start focusing on all these other things instead of our own progress and judging it in a different manner. So a lot of times what happens, especially at the early belts, this wave of progress is like this, okay? Now guess what? Black belts still go through this. This is like the highs. This is where I can't do anything wrong, right? Everything's working. All my techniques are rock solid. But then we start assimilating new techniques, especially at blue belt. Blue belt is the belt where most people are going to add the most technique, right? You're going to learn more techniques typically, not always, but typically you're going to learn the majority of techniques that you know in jiu-jitsu at the blue belt level, right? Purple belt and beyond, purple belt is really sort of like the assimilation of all those techniques and developing your own sort of seamless transitions and all that sort of thing, and sort of finding out who you are in jiu-jitsu and expressing yourself on the mat. And then, you just continue to progress and you're sharpening all those tools all the way up into black belt, okay? And so it still happens for black belts, right? But their wave ends up being a little bit more steady, okay? And because there's always little micro adjustments in there. So little tiny things are changing. A little tweak here. Oh man, that makes that technique work a little bit better. Now you feel good about it, right? And everything starts to work with the timing. But when you start assimilating a lot of new techniques, you don't have the timing in them yet. And so we get down to here, and this is what we're focusing on. We're not focusing on this or even this, which is actually the actual progress, right? It's not necessarily the high, it's not necessarily the low, you're somewhere in the middle, right? But we tend to focus on this because we have these expectations, right? Like, I have to be able to do this move I worked last week. Well, maybe this guy has the answer, and we have to start something new. We have to try something else, but we don't have the timing yet. But here's the thing, guys. If you keep training, I promise you, when I've gone through this in the past, whatever the low was, however long I was down in this area where I thought, oh man, I'm not getting any better, and I kept training, at some point, it could happen in a week, it could happen in a month, it can happen in a day. For whatever reason, things start to click, And now, boom, you're up here. And what's really happening, it's not just steady here and steady here. Focus on this line. This is your rate of progression. It doesn't look like this. It's this. You're improving. It just doesn't feel like it right here. Okay? You're learning new techniques. You're assimilating new things, but you haven't quite put them. You don't have the timing yet. So, if you know anybody that's going through this issue, share this video with them. Try to encourage them. Remember, friends don't let friends quit jiu-jitsu, okay? Even when things are difficult down here, okay? I promise you. Focus on small things. We focus on the big picture, big picture meaning like I'm not tapping guys out, they're tapping me out. The guys that I used to tap out, they're tapping me. We're focusing on the wrong things. Focus on small areas. Pick just one spot, like, okay, I'm having a really hard time in side control. And focus on that one area and fix that problem, okay? And then when you have those progressions where you're not focusing on the entire game, you're focusing on one element, now you're going to start feeling better about that element. So you start putting yourself in that bad position. And then you start saying, okay, professor or your instructor, hey, can you help me out? This is an area of problem for me. Can you help me out with this one position? And focus on those one little pieces at a time. Fix one position at a time, and then little by little, before you know it, you're going to be up here and feeling like King Kong. Okay, I promise. I've been through it. Okay, and now I still have them. I still have bad days. Okay, and I still have great days, but this is where I'm at. I'm right in the middle somewhere. Okay, so keep training, keep getting through it. Okay, keep yourself safe. Obviously, I mean, sometimes injury puts us down in this area. That's a separate issue, but just keep at it, and learn what questions to ask. Learn what to focus on. Okay, start with small pieces of the puzzle. Don't look at the overall picture. Just focus on maybe one problem area. Take one problem area and fix it. The black belt is nothing more than a representation of thousands and thousands of corrected mistakes. So pick one and focus on that for a day, okay? And I guarantee you'll feel better about it. You'll come back, you'll have a better attitude, and next thing you know, you're gonna be up there. So keep training, guys. And if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe, share it with your friends, and we'll see you soon.